Did Cabinet support BTL buying SpeedNet? The BTL chairman went to make the pitch to Cabinet today. 7 News was there and we'll have reaction. And the Cabinet secretary slipped and put an intriguing message on his WhatsApp status today. It talks about corruption. We'll have the context. Also, mom and son remanded to jail for stabbing and chopping her ex. Plus, taking down the tint will show you how tint was being removed from government vehicles today. And beautiful and Belize City. Those words don't usually go together, but one artist says she found it. We'll talk to Yoling Lee. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This year, Belize felt more connected than ever. We stood with the moments that shape us, our culture, our youth, our stories. And we lifted young dreams even higher, powered by advancement and possibility. Everywhere, Belize is growing, and as the nation evolves, so does the way we connect. This year, Belize showed its light, and we were honored to drive innovation across the country. As we look ahead, our promise is simple: to unite communities, nurture dreams, and continue leading Belize's digital transformation. From our Digi family to yours, wishing you a bright and prosperous 2026.
Happy New Year!
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
The Prime Minister's family stands to benefit substantially.
But do you know who doesn't stand to benefit? The Social Security Board and any Belizean worker who depends on them. It's so toxic, board members are resigning rather than voting. But the Social Security Board hasn't said anything. SSB owns more than 30% of BTL. Will they stay silent and allow this deal? Will they allow BTL to take on this massive liability? Will they gamble with your pension, your benefits, your fund? Politicians' families will get the payout, but Belizean workers will get the bill. SSB, don't gamble with what you can't afford to lose.
This January, it's time to jumpstart your 2026 with Cellular World. Stay connected with a new smartphone starting at just $119. Find tablets for kids, students, professionals, and creatives starting as low as $129. Create unforgettable memories at home with clear image and sound on a new smart TV starting at only $369. Take your music everywhere with JBL headphones and speakers that keep up with you on all your adventures. Or level up your fun with the latest video consoles and gaming accessories at the best price. And enjoy a fresh start at home with appliances designed to make everyday life easier. Jumpstart your 2026 at your nearest Cellular World location: Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, and Orange Walk. Or contact our virtual store at 615-5141.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Today, Cabinet heard BTL's pitch to acquire SpeedNet, and tonight we can report that they have not taken a decision. BTL Chairman Mark Lizarraga, CEO Ivan Tesikum, and CFO Ian Cleverly went to the Cabinet room this afternoon to make the case for acquisition. This evening, when the 2-hour-plus presentation was finished, Minister of Public Utilities Chabat said they will take a decision when BTL's ongoing consultation process is finished.
I think it was a thorough presentation. Cabinet had not yet been briefed, and so we welcome this presentation today. Cabinet has not made a position. We're waiting for the process to take place. We understand there are some consultations going on, and we want to allow that to happen first.
So far, BTL's executive team has made presentations to the Social Security Board, the Belize Communications Workers Union, and the Executive Committee of the NTUCB. All this comes after a failed board vote on the acquisition on January 9th, the lead up to which forced at least one board member to resign. We also spoke with the BTL Chairman Mark Lizarraga after he finished his presentation to Cabinet. But while he met with the ministers and answered their concerns, some of the social partners, as well as the opposition and the independent media, have called for his resignation. So what does he think about that? Here's what he told us.
Well, it entailed all the reasons that we thought that we needed to extend our ability to raise revenue, through efficiency. The BTL is an essential services provider, and we have a tremendous responsibility to ensure that our system, our digital infrastructure remains robust. It grows, keeps up with the technology because of the role that it plays in our economy. We can only do this effectively by cutting out the needless duplication in the industry, by cutting out the waste, by cutting out all that we don't need and using the capacity that we already have. It's not that we have to grow that capacity, it's that we have the capacity already. So why not use it? Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize, so any benefits to this, through this proposed consolidation would bring benefits to the people of Belize as the owners, and it would bring benefits to the people of Belize through services.
We know the social partners have been meeting, series of meetings over the last week and into this week. One of those things coming out of that meeting is for you to resign from BTL. Are you prepared to resign if pressured by the social partners?
I'm not going to answer that question, okay? I'm not going to go there. I think the Prime Minister appointed me, and I think the Prime Minister can remove me. I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister. So if the Prime Minister thinks that I'm not doing his job, that's something for him, not for the social partners.
And do you believe that it was received well, your message to the cabinet today?
Absolutely. I think it was received very well. As I said, it was a very engaging 2 hours or 2 hours plus. And we tried to answer every concern that they had. At the end of the day, the next decisions will be policy oriented, right? I mean, we came with the responsibility as BTL directors, as BTL's executives, as to what we think would bring efficiency to the market space. Now the policymakers have to decide what the next steps are.
What were some major concerns that the cabinet had?
I think they're varied, and I think you know all of them. So I won't go into a repeat of that. I'm quite tired, to be honest with you. It's been very, very intense.
We know that Lizarraga is a former social partner senator. He went on to explain that in order for BTL to maintain efficiency, it has to keep making big investments like SpeedNet. He said that if those investments aren't made, other areas will feel the pinch.
As an essential service provider and the role we are asked to play in our digital transformation going forward, we need money, lots of money, okay? And the only way we're going to be able to have that money is through efficiency. Through efficiency so that we can protect and provide the services that at 99.99% of the time, and put in the redundancies, the duplication that we already have, and strengthen those redundancies. Technology have a very short lifespan, and they're very expensive, and we have a small population, so it don't make sense to make with the waste, because it robs us of the ability to continue to spread our services throughout the country, right? To expand our services, to lower prices, which, by the way, we've made a commitment to not raise prices for the next 2 years, and to look at certainly how the consumers can benefit, either through more offerings or lower prices. So for us to continue with the responsibility that we have in this digital age, if we want to transform our country digitally, because of the efficiencies that this digital transformation will bring, we have to be able to invest, and invest in a very expensive industry. So if we don't have the efficiencies, something will have to give. Either dividends, either benefits, either maintenance to our existing infrastructure, or lower prices. And we have a responsibility to take care of the investors, who are the people of Belize, the Social Security Board, and the small investors. We have a responsibility to our employees. We have a responsibility to our assets, right? Our buildings, our infrastructure. And we have a responsibility to the consumers, who are our owners. And remember, through all of this inflation and all of this, the supply chain issues and the increase in prices, we're the only ones that lowered our prices. People not see that. People not see the benefits they've received.
And while BTL is talking about lowering prices, the PUC is preparing a statutory instrument which seems to be making the way for a return to a monopoly. Shabat explained.
The PUC is preparing an SI, which will be sent to the Attorney General before it comes to Cabinet. And that is to ensure that things, for example, like there's a transitional period. During that period, rates will not be raised, bundles will not be changed, subscribers will not be allowed to be moved from one rate to another unless they specifically require it, and things like that.
Transitional period means it is anticipated.
Well, it is anticipated, as you may have heard in the media, that there's a proposal. Telephone companies, yes.
Yes, but making an SI for it sounds like government has made a decision to.
At all, as the regulator, I think PUC has to prepare for every eventuality, and I think it is out there, it is in the public that this is being discussed.
And do you support a telecoms monopoly?
I don't know that there is a monopoly. As far as I know, there are about 23 other broadband providers in this country, so I don't know that there is a monopoly.
And while Shabat talks about 20-plus medium, small and micro internet service providers in Cabinet today, Lizaraga was forced to defend a morning in October of 2022 when BTL cut all of Channel 7's fixed line, mobile and internet services. It happened 3 years ago, and our news director recently brought it up in his explanation of why Belize should not go back to a monopoly. Well, more than 3 years later, BTL came up with an explanation and an apology. In a letter sent to Jules Vasquez yesterday from CEO Ivan Tesikum, it stated that there was a, quote, internal administrative error. A billing adjustment for your account was not applied before the automated credit control process ran, end quote. The letter then apologizes for that oversight. However, Lizaraga's explanation to the media today was a little different. He insinuated that Channel 7's internet was cut due to unpaid bills, which is false and which Tesikum's letter made no mention of. Here's what Lizaraga said.
You know that we've been accused of pulling the plug on some media houses. And we did a review to see, in fact, the good thing about our systems is that our systems can tell you when you were billed, when you were not, when you were disconnected, etc. All of that is there in our billing system. And there was a mistake, and we wrote a letter of apology to Channel 7, and I think Cabinet has asked that we share it because it's not the policy of the government and it's not the policy of BTL to unplug anybody. And I took that really seriously, you know, because I certainly did not ask that Channel 7 be unplugged or any media house. So you'll be receiving a copy of that letter so that we are giving our reassurances that we're putting the media as an essential service type where we would communicate with you before we cut you. Now, what happened with the billing system is if there is a balance due by a certain day, it cut you automatically. We don't go down the list for say, if you pay, you pay, you pay, you pay. No, we have a billing system that does that and does what it's called dunning. It cut you if you don't pay. But what we're going to be doing now is what we do like for hospitals, police, other essential services. We not cut them. We would call them and say, hey, you have a bill, kinda. So we're putting the media houses onto that plan where before any disconnection is done for non-payment, we would call you and say, please pay your bill before we would just cut you, or the system would cut you, but now we're going to make sure that we call you and remind you, pay your bill, otherwise you could be disconnected.
Joe said he'll have his full response on a special Wednesday edition of The Beef tomorrow. And while that BTL stuff was the big business at Cabinet today, it seems that in the blur of that very full meeting, Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie had a slip of the thumb, which resulted in a private message posted to his WhatsApp status. It's news for us because the message makes allegations of very blatant acts of corruption involving the director of a government unit. Because we cannot independently confirm these details at this time, we have to publish a redacted version of the message. but it says that someone is raising profound and urgent concerns regarding the administration, approval and financing of recent road works, procurement activities, and contract awards within the government ministry. The message questions, quote, why is the director going back to Belize to collect checks for commission on purchases of materials paid for by the government of Belize? Why is the acting coordinator of the unit? The answer is because he is there to manipulate spending and distribute the share of the pie to blank. And then it names a minister and a CEO. The message continues, yes, it's all about greed. There is widespread concern that payments are being approved for road work that is either incomplete or not executed. After that, the message breaks off. We did reach out to the Cabinet Secretary to ask about the origin of the message and what is being done about the very serious allegation of corruption and kickbacks. He said it was a message he received anonymously and was forwarding it to the relevant CEO and the minister when he accidentally posted it to his status and then removed it a short while later. He said the allegations are being looked into. We will be following up on this. And we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you how tint was removed from government vehicles today. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We've always said that BTL does not fear competition.
They promise that a monopoly will lower your bills. But do you remember the last time BTL was a monopoly?
I am tired of this increase of rate. This is ridiculous. This is outrageous.
It is time for us to stand up together and say enough is enough.
They're done with GOB. They promise a lot of things and they sell it out.
A monopoly that is neither legally bound nor apparently morally inclined to give in.
Lord, as cops, they feel like they could come and lord it over us and we have to stop this fool.
BTL is taking over $90 million in debt to buy smart. They have to pay that back. And how do you think they will do it? By squeezing you. When there's only one phone company, only one cable provider, and only one internet option, what incentive do they have to charge you less?
The Prime Minister has personally called to persuade board members to support it.
Do you get the politicians you vote for?
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria, con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente. Ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas, ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales. Nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible, para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Start earning B-Bucks today. It's really quite easy. All you have to do is make a purchase at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember, B-Bucks is as good as cash. It's free money.
Download the B-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy.
V-Bucks, rewarding loyalty.
No Wi-Fi.
You might want to sing it note for note, don't worry.
Yo, bro,
Be
need your help.
happy.
Excuse me, class.
In every life we
Bro, I
have
have smart
some
Wi-Fi, it's smart
trouble. But when you worry, you make it double, don't worry. Be happy.
Wherever the coastal road takes you, don't worry, be happy. Smart has you covered. Smart, bringing people together.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
The Prime Minister's family stands to benefit substantially.
But do you know who doesn't stand to benefit? The Social Security Board and any Belizean worker who depends on them. It's so toxic, board members are resigning rather than voting. But the Social Security Board hasn't said anything. SSB owns more than 30% of BTL. Will they stay silent and allow this deal? Will they allow BTL to take on this massive liability? Will they gamble with your pension, your benefits, your fund? Politicians' families will get the payout, but Belizean workers will get the bill. SSB, don't gamble with what you can't afford to lose.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
A mother and her son have been charged with attempted murder, a result of a bloody dispute between the mother and her female partner. The victim, 36-year-old Samira Gentle, a forklift operator, was hospitalized with multiple stab wounds following a bloody fight with her ex, 38-year-old Prunella White, on Sunday. Police allege that White and her son, 19-year-old Jermaine Belisle, stabbed and chopped Gentle. The mother and son appeared in court today before Magistrate Manon Dennison, who read them both one count each of use of deadly means of harm and attempted murder. No plea was taken due to the nature of the offense, and bail was denied. Both were remanded to the Belize Central Prison until February 25th, 2026. Gentle was said to be in a critical condition. A working woman caught a cab to get home but ended up in jail. 20-year-old taxi driver Norman Grant and 31-year-old Sherry Ann Card, a call center agent, appeared yesterday evening before a senior magistrate in the Belize City Magistrates Court, where they were jointly charged with keeping an unlicensed firearm, a black Taurus 9mm pistol, and keeping ammunition without a gun license after police found 4 9mm rounds. Both Grant and Card pleaded not guilty to the charges. During the arraignment, Card told the court that she was only a passenger and was being given a ride, adding that she has a job at a call center and cannot miss work. But the senior magistrate explained that she would have the opportunity to present her defense at trial. Due to the nature of the offenses, bail was denied, and both accused were remanded to the Belize Central Prison until March 20th of 2026. After this week, government vehicles will be driving around without tinted windows. That's after a directive from the Assets and Utilities Management Unit to remove the tints from the vehicles in order to comply with government policy. So while yesterday those vehicles in Belmopan were getting their tints removed and their insurance renewed, today was the Belize District's turn. Courtney Menzies has this story.
This was the sound that echoed across the Eleanor Hall parking lot this morning as the tint was being removed from all Belize District government vehicles picking up their renewed insurance policies. It's the enforcement of a long-standing, long-ignored regulation implemented by the Assets and Utilities Management Unit. According to a memo issued on the 19th, in order to comply with the laws and protocols in the vehicle policy, windows must not be tinted, except in special cases where, depending on the department, only 20% tint is allowed for rear windows. In terms of the windshield, they are only allowed the 7-inch strip. Exceptions are made for customs enforcement and specialized police vehicles, such as those used in intelligence gathering. And while this policy enforcement is happening countrywide, not all GOB workers agree. This morning, we heard some grumbling as the tint was being removed. However, this move by the AUMU is to regularize the 1,500 vehicles and 300 motorcycles that make up the government's fleet. By 10:30 this morning, one trash bag was already filled with discarded tint. Yesterday, at the license renewal at Belmopan, they managed to fill 2 bags at the steps of the National Assembly. Tomorrow, Cayo vehicles will be getting their tint removed and insurance renewed at the Victor Galvez field. And if there are any questions or complaints, the AUMU team has this prepared so that the government drivers can easily scan the code to see the vehicle policy. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Reports say that police were the most resistant to the tints being taken off. Yesterday, you saw the opening of this year's sugar crop season, but with a new crop, there will be an increased price for sugar. This was confirmed yesterday by the Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, Dr. Osmond Martinez. He explained the reason behind the government's decision.
Government also saw the need for the increase in sugar price, which DSI should be anytime soon. It was signed by Minister Ferguson at the beginning of this year. It should be gazetted sometime this week if it was not gazetted last week. But that again will help to put more money within the pockets of the farmers. But also it will help in reducing contraband, because when the price of sugar is lower on our neighboring countries such as Guatemala and Mexico, then we end up subsidizing that market. And our farmers are not making that. It's not like their operational cost is higher than the selling price. It's actually it's at the contrary. They were at a deficit when you look at their financial reports. And so, yes, the question, just to answer your question, yes.
And a big change is coming to the northern sugar industry this year. They are going to empty the use of a core sampler to test the quality of sugar deliveries. 18 years ago, just the mention of the word core sampler caused riots in the north, which led to the death of a cane farmer at the hands of police. This year, it is being introduced on a voluntary basis.
What we are doing is installing a core sampler here at BSI. It should be ready for use for voluntary purposes by March. Now, what a core sampler does is it's a kind of blind testing tool. It's a machine. It doesn't have any people that are operating it. It takes a sample from each cane truck, and it can analyze in its own lab the amount of pole, the amount of fiber in sugar cane, And what we're working towards with farmers is to look at how we can maybe have a slightly different commercial agreement, something that was suggested by the Commission of Inquiry, that would look at rewarding the cane that comes in on the value of the pole in that cane, the purity, sugar purity of that cane. We need to discuss that in great detail to introduce it and to do it properly and formally. But what it will do is mean that the farmers who bring in better quality cane will get a greater share of the reward.
And while it is on a voluntary basis, the government and the BSI management hope that the measured implementation of the core sampler can create industry-wide efficiencies.
If they can manage to sell or to receive cane based on quality and sell based on quality, then there will have to be a reward in terms of an increase on payment. For now, we have had extensive discussions with all stakeholders, and one of the main concerns that they had in the past was the time that it took to provide the results of the testing back. And that also lost a level of trust. Nonetheless, with the present technology that they have is instant. So an app has also been developed whereby the information can be disseminated to the associations in general, so they will be able to access the data on real time. So it won't take that 15 minutes period or more that it used to take in the past. But for now, what they're doing is gathering all the data so that they can have that data bank and to understand how it works. So there is a period of gaining that knowledge and understanding on how the system works and to modify it if there is any concerns.
But beyond quality of the cane, the ability to get it out of the ground is infusion, and that is due to a labor shortage. But is there a solution to it?
We're all aware of the labor shortages in Belize, and really the future is to go to larger scale fields and more mechanized harvesting in order to reduce the exorbitant cost of harvesting and delivering cane. So lots of positive changes, lots of reasons to be optimistic for this crop.
And what about the sugar roads that have faced years of PUDP neglect? Well, Dr. Martinez says most of the roads don't need rehabilitation. However, he said 10% do need just that.
There is $1.2 million that have been invested to rehabilitate the sugar roads. And one of the issues that we had last year was the intensive amount of rain, not only in terms of volume of rain, but also in the amount of days that it was raining. We thank God that practically at the beginning of this year, it hasn't been raining. And so MIDH has been doing a fantastic work in the cane fields. I personally took a day to tour a good percentage of the roads. And I would say that at least 60 to 70% of the roads, they are in very good condition. We have about 10% of the roads that need a lot of work, of which MIDH has already recognized it and identify where they need to work. Others, they need a little bit of work, but they need some work.
After the break, beautiful and Belize City. Those words don't usually go together, but one artist says she has found it. You'll see the work of Yao Ling Lee. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
You may have seen her on street corners and sidewalks with her own setup, painting and sketching in the early mornings and late evenings. But today, artist Yao Ling Lee was setting up her exhibition to promote the second edition of her book, Beautiful Belize, a coffee table book of paintings inspired by Belize City's history. Jo Marie Lanza stopped by the exhibit today to find out more about the event and the artist's work. Here's that story.
Each splash of color to every sketch gives a deeper story of the true, sometimes hidden, beauty that Belize City has to offer. And artist Yao Ling Lee has successfully captured this in several of her most recent creations, which are on display in a new exhibit at the Mexican Cultural Institute. Each is inspired by numerous scenes scattered across the city, from busy intersections to the water's edge. Her exhibition includes a bit of everything she believes has a uniqueness to it, more than just the ordinary, making it worthy of a canvas. She recently compiled many of them in her book.
My book is called Beautiful Belize City, and that is the title for this watercolor exhibition, Beautiful Belize City. And then let's talk about book. You see here, right here, this part, those are the watercolor urban sketches that feature in my book. So those are the sketches that I drive around Belize City and I sketch them in watercolor. And in order to make this exhibition even more interesting, I brought in some nude studies, figure studies, and also flowers over there. I do painting, so I do a lot of pencil sketches. And then I use watercolor sketches as well. And then I love oil. Maybe I'm intoxicated with linseed oil, turpentine, the smell. But that's the way how I do. It's just a regular practice. I can't tell you how do I, but the light is most important. My subject, I do all kinds of things. Now we have urban sketches, mean that I go out and I paint landscape, cityscape. And then I do figure as well. We have a figure study, which I have sitter. I prefer to work in front life, mean that whatever I do, my subject is always in front of me. So I have sitter in my studio, pose for my work. And that's how I did with my figure study. And then if we talk about watercolor, the flower, I have 1/3 of our watercolor here in this exhibition. Those are flowers. So I set up a table in my backyard. Then I paint what I have in my backyard. And sometimes when I go out, I see some beautiful flower. I buy it in and I sketch them. It's hard to say, but it just has to tickle me. Maybe it looks really, really nice, but there's a little things that say, Yao Ling, you need to paint it.
The sketches are all part of a second edition launch of her book. This particular copy has a softer cover and is slightly cheaper, meant to be more than just a collector's item. Lee explained why she chose to work with watercolor, despite how unpredictable it can be at times.
I love watercolor. It's really hard to control. You have to set it free. But then somehow I use transparent. There are different kind of watercolor, opaque as well, but I love transparent. I mean that is very, you can see the light. It's very different than the medium of oil. Oil is heavy and you can just almost like you're doing sculpture, with the heaviness and wet. But watercolor is so light. It's like almost like a bird, but it's very difficult because once you lay down the color, you can't take it out. But it's so exciting because sometimes there are so much surprises when the color meet each other. It's just beautiful. So it's a very different way to do it. But watercolor, the one I'm showing here for this exhibition, those are small. These are called sketches. Let's say if I talk about those urban sketches, although they are small, but one take from 1 hour to 3 hours.
And with each colorful landscape, there is a bit of history to accompany each painting. She says the exhibition provides a passageway for guests to see the potential in Belize City's history as art.
There are 22 urban sketches featured in my book. beautiful publicity. I'm the one, I wrote about my reflections. I'm not a writer, I have to say. I'm not a writer. I do painting, okay? But then, who can write my experience? Who is the best person? Me, yeah. So then I wrote about my experience, field note. And then I say, well, those 21 urban sketches, I want to know about their historical background. So then I recruit 22 Belizean writers. Yeah, I'm kind of doing this book for myself because I really want to know about Belize. And somehow I think it resonates to people, a lot of people. We get to learn a lot. We share what we see, and then you also get to see what I see.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
The exhibition will open at 7 p.m. on Friday and will also feature a book signing. Lee's book can be purchased online, or you can reach out to Kubola Publishers for a copy. And for our next story, we took a deep dig into our archive with all the talk about going back to a telecoms monopoly. We went into our archives to 2001 when there really was a monopoly, and a group called the Committee for Action on Public Utilities, or CAPU, which led spirited non-political protests against BTL after it implemented rate increases. It was owned at the time by the Ashcroft Alliance, which only gave the protests greater fuel. We have put together reports from December 5th and December 18th of 2001, which were days of anger in the streets of Belize City. A group of unionists, business leaders, and regular folks who are leading the charge against BTL's new rate structure.
And they took their message of militants against the monopoly, complete with graphic symbols, into the streets.
Astro, go back to England! Astro, go back to England! Lower rate! 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 So BPL, social team, understand with the corporate will not take no.
This was no rent-a-crowd. Instead, it was an intelligent and reasoned, if somewhat emotional response by regular folks fed up with BTL's new rates.
I am tired of this increase of rate.
I came to demonstrate my disapproval. You see, I have already plugged out my phone long time because this is ridiculous. This is outrageous. And not talk about calling card. Oh my goodness.
Before we even pick up the telephone to make a call at the beginning of the month, we have to find $50. And before this, our telephone bill has never ever exceeded $50.
We are senior citizens and we are not working. So we want to know what's going on with the bill because we're not working and we are senior citizens and we got to use the phone.
Belizeans have been asleep for a while, but now it is time for us to reunite and stand up and get rid of this crazy scheme that everybody seems to think that they can come here and just shove things down Belizeans' throats. It is time for us to stand up together and say enough is enough.
I paid too much for phone, and so I didn't just protest because I paid too much.
Why do you think BTL charges so much?
I have absolutely no idea because I don't talk that long, and that's true.
This phone is my husband. They sleep in my bed. She tap unplug it, and I bring them with me. And I know I got that kind of money they pay them because they want to kill me. Me want a heart attack, and I don't need that. Everybody for me live the Uncle Sam, but I want to stay here because I belong.
So how are you going to keep in touch with your relatives now?
The man up there provide.
But until God does intercede, the organizers of today's event will have to keep up the pressure on a monopoly that is neither legally bound nor apparently morally inclined to give in.
Some people like Lord Ashcroft, they feel like they could come and lord it over us and we have to stop this fool.
Ashcroft may be the fool, but the joke is on phone users because no matter how they march, stomp or shout, until someone can figure out a way to issue a meaningful consequence on Ashcroft's bank accounts that continue to brim over, well, until then, all talk is cheap, even at twice the price.
But 3 weeks later, the telecommunications monopoly has yet to budge, and by all indications, it has no intention to. But you can't tell that to Kapu and its supporters, who today once again took to the streets.
For the second time in 2 weeks, employees and customers at BTL's Church Street office were held as virtual hostages inside from an angry mob of protesters on the outside. Carrying a coffin, protesters this morning marched from the Constitution Park to the company's downtown Belize City office, where the box was ominously laid for the telephone monopoly.
Take charge of our lives. We must do something, and Belizeans must stop being complacent and speak out. We have to voice our opinion. I think we are too laid back. You know, we talk in the office and so, and when time comes to fight, nobody knows how to come out. But today I'm out here to show my support. I want lower rate.
Not but a matter of putting blame. It's from now what we do now. How do we solve the problem? And we'll solve it together, not divided.
We are not here to be harassed by the police. We are here to send a message to BTL, and we shall not be moved.
And that little flare-up is what a defying Anglican bishop, the Right Reverend Sylvester Romero Palmer, warned it could develop into much more if the rates are not reduced.
I hope that BTL will listen to the voice of the people and not go ahead with the rising of prices, because in the long run, what it will do, it will cause chaos and revolution.
Hard to believe, considering the noticeable decrease in the militancy of this crowd compared to the angry bunch who took to these very same streets 2 weeks ago. Today, no phones were smashed, and the vitriol against the Green Giant seems to have smoldered into a hardened militant. Kapu's Margaret Ventura says the anti-BTL sentiment is growing and has now reached into the districts.
What we are saying is we are calling on the government of Belize and the Public Utilities Commission. We believe by the people's demonstration, that is enough to tell the government of Belize that the people are demanding that they do something.
Kapu continued the fight long after these protests, but did not get the rates rolled back. And finally tonight, in an effort to encourage sportsmanship and the love for football among children, the Warriors Football Club of Corozal Town organized a friendly football tournament this past weekend for kids between the ages of 7 to 15 years, an event they call the Friendly Challenge. 10 football teams participated in the event, both girls and boys. The Warriors FC, in partnership with the National Sports Council, is expected to host another tournament next month. The Warriors FC won first place in the under-12 for boys and under-15 for girls, with San Narciso RC coming in second for both categories. And that's all we have for you on our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night. Join me back here tomorrow at 6.